Welcome back. One Colorado woman learns the consequences of distracted driving firsthand after a bizarre incident left a pole impaled through her body. Douglas Coulter caught up with her this week, and let's hear what happened.
With the hustle and bustle of everyday life, getting distracted is not difficult, which can be especially dangerous while driving. Christina Johns learned just how dangerous it can be. On August 27th, Johns pulled into the parking lot of her daughter's middle school to take her a saxophone.
I looked down at my phone. In the split second I looked back up, I realized everything was kind of happening.
In the split second Johns was distracted, her car slammed into a guardrail which came through the front of her vehicle, piercing her in the upper thigh and continuing through to the back seat.
And that's when I realized that my leg was impaled.
Johns was rushed to a local area hospital where she underwent emergency surgery. Though she is in a lot of pain, it could have been a lot worse.
The doctor said if it had gone in any other angle, it would have been way worse.
According to a report from the U.S. Department of Transportation, at any given moment, 5% of drivers are guilty of using their handheld devices while on the road. We caught up with Chief Michael Phibbs to talk about the seriousness of the issue.
As we look at distracted driving, probably texting and driving will overtake drunken driving for highway deaths in the next year or two.
If you are easily distracted, Phibbs offers advice to help.
Things people can do if they're really serious about it is put blocks in place for them that limits them access to those devices. Put your cell phone device in the back seat of your car where you can't get to it, and then you'll know that after you get out of the car you can check on that.
Try not to do things in the car that will distract you from the driving, because you never know.
Johns is expected to make a full recovery. She hopes to tell her story to others and hopes that they don't make the same mistake she made. For the Met Report, I'm Douglas Coulter.
For more information about distracted driving and the dangers it presents, visit www.distraction.gov.
The Denver Police Department is cracking down on hit-and-run drivers by making local body shops their eyes and ears. It's part of a program called Denver Auto Body Alert, in which Denver PD and local repair shops partner up to find offenders' cars. Participating body shop owners will receive a thorough description of the vehicles presumed to be in hit-and-run accidents. Owners will then be asked to contact PD traffic investigators if someone brings in a car matching the description. So far, 34 body shops have signed up for the program.
Looking for a spring internship? If so, there are a few things you need to watch out for. The Department of Labor established guidelines for unpaid internships, and this has caused some companies to change their policies. The most important new rule states that no intern should ever be left alone without a supervisor. Under the guidelines, any unpaid internship should also benefit only the intern and not the company. For more information on the unpaid internships, visit Department of Labor website at www.internjustice.com.
CCMLE companies and the FCC are in negotiations to eliminate internet neutrality, an act that could ultimately change the internet as we know it. Here is Sarah Peace with the latest.
Neutrality, or the idea that all data on the web should be treated equally, is once again under the crossfire as big names in cable such as Comcast and Verizon began talks with the Federal Communications Commission.
Since the U.S. Court of Appeals struck down the FCC's open internet order in January, a new rule has since been introduced that could have an effect on you as students.
The FCC has proposed a forcing of a two-tier system for internet speed and data usage. With the new rule in place, telecom giants would be able to control and charge tech companies to send content to consumers more quickly. For example, Netflix users might need to pay a premium to stream movies and shows more reliably, at a cost some startup competitors may not be able to afford.
Well, I guess that's going to be the problem. If you end net neutrality, what you really wind up with is a system where the highest dollar purveyor that's using the net is going to have priority. And guess what? Educational institutions are not famous for the amount of money they have floating around in them. And so that's going to have a direct effect on students. And when you look at what are going to be the considerations for journalism, to me, this is kind of the more frightening follow-on effect of the Citizen United decision that essentially said, money does not influence politics.
Big names and net neutrality activists such as Tumblr, Google, and Amazon have protested against the FCC's newest rule. By doing so, these websites have instructed their users to comment and share their opinions on the FCC's Open Comment Forum. For the Met Report, Sarah Peace.
If you would like to participate by sharing your opinions for or against the elimination of net neutrality, please visit www.fcc.gov/comments.
In the 2 years that Amendment 64 has been in effect, a lot of eyes have been on Colorado. But has the legalization of marijuana become a problem for Colorado citizens? Jessica Escalante tells us more.
Colorado drivers claim that they have been stopped outside the state for little or no apparent reasons. They believe that they are being profiled because they have Colorado license plates. Chief of Police Michael Phibbs says it is just routine.
I think that what people need to remember is that marijuana use, recreational use, is not legal in the other states. Officers need to enforce the laws of their state. So all the time in law enforcement, and the Supreme Court has reviewed it, officers can do what we call pretext stops. So we'll stop somebody for a legal reason, even though what we're really interested in is not why we stop them, but for another reason.
However, searching your car for probable cause of having Colorado license plates does not stand in court.
Just having a Colorado license plate and having no other factor is probably not probable cause. Obviously, it's illegal to be carrying marijuana across state boundaries into states where it is illegal, so be aware of that.
For the Mayor Report, Jessica Escalante.
If you got past the White House fence, how far do you think you would make it? 40, maybe 50 yards? An intruder last Friday made it 70 yards. He even opened the White House's front door where the Secret Service finally captured him. The intruder was only armed with a knife. However, he reportedly had more than 800 rounds of ammunition in his car. The alleged perpetrator was previously arrested this past July in Virginia with several guns and a map of the White House. The suspect, Omar J. Gonzalez, will be detained until his next hearing.
For the first time since 1995, a beer will be sold outside the club level at Folsom Fields in Boulder. University of Colorado Athletic Director Rick George announced the expansion of beer sales through the addition of 2 new beer gardens on the west side of the stadium. CU officials stated last week that they've had consistent feedback from fans that offering beer and wine in a contained environment would improve the fan experience. I'm sure it would. The Buffalo Beer Gardens will be open near the Buffalo statue at the Southwest Plaza, and the Balch Beer Gardens will be open inside Balch Fieldhouse 2 hours before kickoff. Beer and wine will be sold in both beer gardens to people 21 and older through the end of the third quarter. No alcohol will be permitted to leave the beer gardens.
Mars, it's our neighboring planet, but we know very little about its past. What kind of origins did this strange planet actually have? NASA's MAVEN mission was to find out just that. MAVEN, or the Mars Atmosphere and Vital Evolution Satellite, finally reached Martian orbit after a long 10-month journey. The satellite had scientists under pressure during the 33-minute thruster burn that slowed down the satellite's path so the Martian gravity could take over. An Indian satellite called the Mars Orbiter mission assists the MAVEN by studying methane on the planet. Both satellites are searching for answers about Mars's mysterious origin.
All you cyclists out there, you're in the right state, but I'm sure you already knew that. Colorado is one of the best places in the U.S. to relax while taking your bike on a stroll.
Colorado has made some landmarks and strides as an individual state. One thing that Colorado is more famously known for is being one of the healthiest places to live and be active in. That's why this year, 4 popular Colorado cities made Bicycling Magazine's annual list of top 50 cycling cities in the U.S., with 2 of them being ranked in the top 10.
It's a super easy way to get around from Aurora all the way to downtown Denver and through Cherry Creek. Very convenient. There's a lot of crossroads that have bike lanes, which is really nice and you don't see in a lot of other cities.
On the list of 50 places to cycle in, Boulder came in the highest for being number 6, followed by Fort Collins at number 9, Denver came in at number 12, and Colorado Springs was ranked 45th.
I bike to work. I usually have my dog in my bag, but I also am a cyclist, so on Saturdays and Sundays, I ride on the bike paths around that are really nice. So it's easier to do than in most cities. I travel a lot for work, so I do know what's accessible and what's easy. Bicycles are super easy commuting as well.
This list is not only based on the census that was taken, but also on the money spent on bikes, the number of bike lanes in one city, and the number of residents who say that they bike around Colorado.
For the Met Report, I'm Addison Goodell.
Over the summer, temperatures weren't just hot here in Denver, they were also warmer than usual at the North Pole. As a result, the Arctic sea ice is melting. On September 23rd, the Arctic ice shrank to the 6th lowest level on record, according to NASA. Some believe this is due to the increase in temperatures around the world. As the ocean warms, the Arctic loses approximately 13% of its sea ice every 10 years. The amazing ice formations could be gone before we know it, but nature is unpredictable.
Well, school is in full swing, and that brings homework, papers, and lots of reading. Let's admit it, we all need a quick break to relax, and the fall season is here just in time to help us with that. The first day of fall was last Tuesday, the 23rd. Autumn nights are earlier, temperatures are cooler, and everything is much more colorful. This is the perfect excuse to go out and explore the great outdoors. There are many places to see Colorado's fall colors, and they vary from Trail Ridge Road, Front Range foliage, Buffalo Pass to the San Juan Skyway. If the drive-by isn't enough to enjoy the view, horseback riding and hot air ballooning are other fun options. For the complete list of what Colorado has to offer, go to www.colorado.com.
You know what, living in Colorado, we really take advantage of how beautiful this state actually is. We actually have all 4 seasons, and fall is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine too, and they don't call it Colorful Colorado for no reason.
That's exactly right, yes.
Have you gotten a chance to actually see what it looks like up in the mountains?
You know what, not yet, but I will definitely make a trip this weekend.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yes, and
Well,
now that the leaves are changing, are things going to start to cool down, Douglas?
Yeah, guys, you know what? We do have a cool down coming at the end of the week, so be prepared for that. But taking a look at this weekend, we have mild temperatures, 85 in Denver, 85 at DIA, 78 down in the Springs. If you guys are headed to the high country to take a look at some of that fall foliage, you might run into a shower in Gunnison and with a high of 74. Grand Junction will be at 81 degrees, and mostly sunny skies in Boulder with a high of 84. Taking a look at Sunday, that's when we have some changes coming through. Denver will be at a high of 81 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and a chance for a shower in the afternoon. DIA will be at 79 and with mostly cloudy skies. Again, in the high country, Gunnison, 74 degrees. Down south, Durango, 77 degrees. Taking a look at your national map, we've got mostly clear conditions over here off in the east, and that's because there's a high pressure system in place. But coming back to the west, we do have this cold front that's going to be pushing through Denver, and that's what's going to be bringing us our rain on Sunday. So taking a look at that, we have that low pressure system sitting right over Denver, and we will see that chance for rain throughout the day, as well as up in Wyoming and other areas to our north. So taking a look at your 5-day forecast, Monday, we got a high of 72 degrees, and we will see that chance for storms. 75 on Wednesday, 71 on Wednesday, Thursday, 65, Friday, a warm 63 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Much cooler temperatures later on this week than what we've been seeing, so you guys ready?
I think so. Falls, I think it's finally going to be here.
Yes, and I'm just thankful that walking from here to there on campus, it's going to be much cooler and we won't have to arrive in class a sweaty mess. So I'm looking forward to that.
Just wait until we're all bundled up and freezing and wishing it was warm outside
yes,
again.
then we're going to take back all of this.
All right, well, coming up, Erica Lloyd will reveal what popular TV shows will be back on the air.